Hey, welcome everybody and Plunder Patrol enthusiasts. How are you guys doing today? So there's a new set coming out soon in TCG. It's coming out January 18th or 19th, depending on EU or NA, called Maze of Millennia. Now this set has a lot of new meta stuff coming out into the format, particularly Bonfire to help the fire decks, and then Transaction Rollback to help the Labyrinth deck. But I do want to do my due diligence and check out this card coming out called Harmonic Synchro Fusion. Now, we can all read this card together, just in case you're not aware. So, this card says, send 2 face-up monsters you control to the graveyard, which is 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner, and then special summon 1 fusion monster and 1 synchro monster from your extra deck that can be fusion and synchro summoned, using only those 2 monsters in the graveyard as material. Okay, so basically, what's going on is, if you have 2 monsters on board, like a tuner and a non-tuner, and you want to decide, oh, should I make a fusion monster with these guys or a synchro monster with these guys, this card lets you do both at the same time, okay? And then the card says, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except fusion and synchro monsters. So it locks you into the 2 extra deck types, fusion and synchro, no link summoning after that, or the rest of the turn. And then it says you can only activate 1 Harmonic Synchro Fusion per turn. Okay, so what comes to mind when I read this card? Well, Plunder Patrol. Alright, they have tuners, they have non-tuners, we have Pure Plunder, we have Adventure Plunder, Runic Plunder, all of that kind of thing. What can we really make with this card in Plunder Patrol, and is it worthwhile? So I kind of did my research a little bit, did my due diligence in testing this out, to try to figure out where this can come in, what you can make with this card in Plunder specifically, and whether or not it's worth playing. Okay, so I have a few replays for us to go through, and I'm just going to walk through and talk through what's going on, and I have both Pure Plunder and Runic Plunder to talk about. Okay, so in this first replay, this is going to be a Pure Plunder list, and, you know, no Runics, that is. And pretty much what we have to do to use this Harmonic Synchro Fusion card is summon a tuner and then have an extender that's a non-tuner. So typically, this is going to be Whitebeard and Bluebeard, or normal summon Golden Hair and Bluebeard, or some other weird combination where we can't link summon first, so it's going to be a little bit odd, but typically our best go-to is going to be normal summon White, special summon Blue, and then Harmonic is going to be live. So let's look at what happens in this scenario. So we normal summon White, special Blue, and then activate Harmonic Synchro Fusion, and what this does is send White and Blue to the graveyard, and then we can fusion summon 1 monster using these 2 as material, using White and Blue as material, and then also synchro summon monster using those 2 as materials. So let's go ahead and see what happens there. And let's look at our options. So for our fusion summon options, we obviously have Plunder Patrol ship lists as the main go-to here, but we also have, and then for our synchro option, our typical option is going to be Brand, just staying in archetype, and then we can also make Jord instead. Obviously, I'm not trying to summon all 3 of these, but I am trying to show you all of the options with synchros on the right and fusions on the left, okay? So now that we have our list plus either Bran or Jord, now we can activate our Whitebeard to summon a Redbeard from deck. And this is going to be kind of nice because we can't link summon, we don't have access to the Blackbeard, so we need some way to get into our kind of like tag out ability on our opponent's turn, so that's where the Redbeard comes in. So with Whitebeard, Bluebeard, and Harmonic Synchro Fusion, we can end up with Liss, Redbeard, and Bran, or Liss, Redbeard, and Jord on our field. Okay? What we can also do, instead, if we want to not go in archetype, instead of summoning the Liss, we can summon a Garura, because that meets the requirements. It's 2 monsters with the same type and attribute, which is White and Bluebeard here. And then we can go into any really generic level 8 synchro. What comes to mind is Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Then we also have Psyframe Lord Omega as another option for a hand rip. So just a few options here. We also have something funny that we can do with Scrap Dragon here. If we summon Garura and Scrap Dragon with our Harmonic Synchro Fusion, we can go Scrap Dragon, pop the Garura and something our opponent controls and draw a card off of the Garura, for example, an Ash. Obviously, this is not very ideal, but it was just something funny that I thought of. Some way to use that Garura, since we are not allowed to link it off this turn because of Harmonic Synchro Fusion's limitation. We can go Scrap Dragon Garura and pop a card to draw one. Okay, so that wraps it up basically for the pure Plunder stuff. Now let's dig into the runic Plunder options a little bit. Okay, so in this particular replay, I don't actually remember what we have going on, but we do. Oh no, this is one more pure Plunder list. This is one more pure Plunder list that gets a little fancy. Okay, I put a whole bunch of weird stuff in the extra deck just because I wanted to see what happens. So we have Whitebeard and Bluebeard again, and then we go Harmonic Synchro Fusion, send those off, and now we go into this particular card called Geomathmech Magma. What does this card do? I have no idea. You have no idea. But the important thing is it's a tuner, okay? So we're going to go into Geomathmech Magma, and then Plunder Patrol ship lists for our fusion. And now what we have is one tuner level 8 and one non-tuner level 8, and what that allows us to go into is an Ultimaya Zulkin, which requires sending 2 level 5 or higher monsters you control with the same level to the graveyard. One is a tuner and one is a non-tuner, okay? So now that we have Zulkin, we can set one card, which is Imperm, and then summon out a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. And this, I will tell you, is absolutely garbage because this is our whole board. Plus one random card in hand, which could be another Harmonic Synchro, which would suck. But we basically have one negate and one set card here, plus one card in hand and a dead Zulkin. Okay, so just something funny to consider. I just wanted to show you guys that because I was theory crafting to the best of my ability, trying to make this card work. Okay, moving on to the next. We're going to put cards back. So we have a Whitebeard and Harmonic Synchro Fusion and a Runic spell. So we are getting into the Plunder Runic deck now. And we're going to go ahead and normal summon our Whitebeard. This is going to be our tuner. And then activate a Flashing Fire to summon. In this particular case, we're going to summon a copy of Jerry. Okay, so we have a Beast and a Fiend. And now we can think about what recent decks have come out where Beasts and Fiends are relevant. We can activate Harmonic Synchro Fusion here and go ahead and send those off, and that allows us to go into Chimera, King of Phantom Beasts. That's kind of awesome. Okay, so we have a Fiend and a Beast gone, we have a Chimera, and then our Synchro monster of choice. I just want to show that you can do either of these fusion monsters, either Chimera King or Baphomet, but there's not really a point for Baphomet that I can think of at the moment, so I think the Chimera King is going to be better for the hand rip. And then we have I guess Baphomet can send like a Mirror Sword Knight out of your deck if you wanted to. Anyways, and then we can go into Omega for the double hand rip if you want. So we have one hand rip with Chimera King, we have Psyframe Lord Omega for another hand rip, and then we have 2 cards in hand. Remember, I started this whole replay with 3 cards in hand, so yeah. And then, yeah, I'm just showing that you can go into any generic level 8 synchro. So you can do either Chimera or Baphomet, and then either Omega or Draco Berserker or any other level 8 synchro that you want. But these are the 2 main fusion targets that we have for a Whitebeard plus a Jerry. And then don't forget to summon out your Redbeard out of the deck. There we go, with the Whitebeard effect afterwards. So now we have a solid follow-up. And honestly, this is probably the best incorporation of Harmonic Synchro Fusion that you can do with Plunder Patrol and Runics. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show you for this replay. Alright, moving on to the next one. I'm going to put cards back. We're going to keep a Runic, we're going to keep a Whitebeard, and we're going to get that Harmonic Synchro Fusion. And I'm just going to play with what we have here. Now, instead of going into Jerry, we're going to normal summon the Whitebeard. We're going to activate this to summon and go into a Freki, which is a level 5 Beast Fusion monster. So we can still activate Harmonic Synchro Fusion and send those 2 off, and we can still go into Chimera King of Phantom Beasts or the Baphomet. But now we have a level 9 synchro to make, and what I have in mind is Shen Shen. So if Shen Shen is going to be a really powerful tool against whatever deck we're playing against at the moment, if Banishing is going to be really strong, then Shen Shen is going to be pretty clutch. And that's pretty much all you can really do. I mean, there's other level 9 synchros, but they're not as good as Shen Shen. And then don't forget our Whitebeard effect to summon out the red. So this is going to be not so bad. We have Chimera for a hand rip. We have a Shen Shen for a Macrocosmos, and then we have a Redbeard as well to follow up on our opponent's turn with an equip effect. Okay, so not terrible. but you know, it's not the best. Honestly, it's about as good as the Whitebeard plus Jerry end board. This is the Whitebeard plus Frecky end board, but it's okay. And then I want to show you guys, I want to just talk about Hugin and what's it called, Munin really quick. And unfortunately here, if we go summon Hugin or if we summon Munin, it doesn't matter which one, there's nothing we can really do with Harmonic Synchro Fusion. And that's because there are no fusion monsters that would require a Whitebeard and a level 3 fairy or level 2 fairy, you know, a level 4 fiend water. Like, I looked through basically all of the fusion monsters, and to my ability, I cannot come up with a fusion monster you can make with Whitebeard plus one of these two fusion monsters, which is kind of unfortunate because you typically want to go into Hugin. You don't want to just go right into Jerry necessarily. So, yeah, I don't really know of anything that we can really do with these. So if someone has a fusion monster you can make, please leave it in the comments below. Obviously, there are synchro monsters you can do. You can do level 4 tuner plus level 3 or level 2, go into Coral Dragon or Black Rose or whatever the heck you want to do. But you also have to summon a fusion monster, and there's nothing really that takes Whitebeard or Golden Hair plus a Munin or Hugin. Okay, so yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap it up for the Plunder Runic ideas for Harmonic Synchro Fusion. Okay, and I want to do one more kind of talk through just for completeness. I actually forgot about the adventure package when I was pre-recording this, but just going through it quick, it's going to be pretty easy to kind of rule out the applicability of Harmonic Synchro Fusion with any other of the adventure stuff. So first of all, our normal summon is going to be Whitebeard, of course. Now let's talk about the token. Okay, so Rite of Aramazir token, because if we read Harmonic Synchro Fusion, the cost is to send 2 face-up monsters you control to the graveyard. Because that token cannot be sent to the graveyard as cost, we cannot use the token anyway. So we can right away remove the token from consideration as one of our Harmonic Synchro Fusion targets. Now let's talk about Wandering Griffin Rider and Illegal Knight. Now, to my knowledge, there's nothing really that comes to mind that is a fusion monster that needs Whitebeard plus a Griffin Rider or an Illegal Knight. You know, you do have Psychic End Punisher as your synchro target with a level 4 plus one of these level 7s, but there's no fusion monster that comes to mind that can use Whitebeard plus one of these two. So we can rule those out kind of as well. And then for the last option, we also have one copy of Water Enchantress. Now this one actually does have targets. We can use Harmonic Synchro Fusion here. We can send away the Enchantress plus the Whitebeard. And then we can go into any level 7 synchro we want. I'm just going to show Black Rose there for an example. And then our level 4 fusion, not necessarily level 4, but our fusion is going to be level 4. It's going to be Mud Dragon of the Swamp, which is 2 monsters with the same attribute. Both are water, but different types. We have a Fiend and a Spellcaster. So that's going to be it, really, for Harmonic Synchro Fusion in the Adventure Plunder deck. So not really great applicability, but basically our highlights here are going to be with the Runic stuff, using Jerry plus Whitebeard if we wanted to go into a double hand rip, or like a Baphomet Send Mirror Sword Knight plus a Draco Berserker, so that's like a negate plus a banish plus a Redbeard on top. That's actually not too terrible. With Frecky, you have a similar thing with the fusion side plus a Shen Shen, which is nice in the certain matchups, so you can kind of tech that in or side deck that in. And then as for the pure Plunder stuff, it's really not that great, guys. So, you know, going into whatever, Garura, not really Garura, but Liss, in reality, this is replay, so I can't edit it, but you can do Liss plus Bran, or Liss plus Jord, or Liss plus one of these random level 8 synchros. That's going to be okay, but in general, this card is not that great, guys. To be totally honest, like, just throwing it in just so you can get to these kind of things in an extra deck that's already super tight with Plunder Runic. You know, we really can't afford to be playing targets just for Harmonic Synchro Fusion in Plunder Patrol specifically. Now, of course, maybe this card has better applications in other decks, but I don't know those other decks, alright? So I'm just talking about Plunder right now, and, you know, before I get asked in the comments, you know, hey, what do you think of this Harmonic Synchro Fusion card? I just wanted to do my due diligence and talk to you guys about it, and, you know, kind of represent the Plunder community over here on YouTube. So if you enjoy that, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video. I'm trying to really grow the channel this year in 2024, and I'm really excited to kind of interact with you guys a little bit more. And with that, I will catch you guys later, and I will see you in the next one for some more Plunder updates. Make sure you stay tuned.